Now to Minneapolis, where we're learning new details in the deadly ICE shooting. Protests against immigration and customs enforcement surging nationwide. We told you yesterday when a Minneapolis woman was shot and killed by an ICE agent. In these new videos, you can see protests popping up everywhere from New Orleans to Boston to New York City. An outrage nationwide, now reaching the First Coast. Our Christina Burgess was at today's anti-ICE rally outside the federal courthouse. Christina, what are the changes that they want to see?
Well, Heather, demonstrators chanted justice for Renee and are calling for an end to all ICE operations, while Florida State Representative Dean Black tells me the situation in Minnesota, while tragic, could have easily been avoided by complying with law enforcement's request. Just 24 hours after 37-year-old Renee Good was shot and killed in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Justice for Renee Good!
Local activists in Jacksonville stood together, united outside the federal courthouse for an anti-ICE rally, protesting the deadly shooting of Good, who was killed by an ICE agent. Dozens of demonstrators here joining those in cities across the nation, calling for accountability and supporting the state of Minnesota.
Reading the headlines and watching the videos has been completely devastating. We're stronger in numbers. We see all these people here fighting, but they're not fighting just for themselves. They're fighting for people all over the country. We're in complete solidarity with the people of Minneapolis, and we're here to say that we will serve justice anywhere.
Chants echo through the crowd, calling for an end to all ICE operations.
The only threat that we pose to these agents is fear of us winning. They fear that justice will be served. They fear that there are more of us than there are of them.
President Donald Trump and Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem are defending the agent's actions, saying he acted in self-defense as Good drove near him. I reached out to Florida State Representative Dean Black, who sent me this statement saying, quote, "Citizens should never interfere with law enforcement officials carrying out their duties, period. The situation in Minnesota, while tragic, could have easily been avoided by complying with law enforcement requests, not interfering with law enforcement in the performance of their duties, and not driving away and apparently attempting to run down a law enforcement officer with a vehicle. We should respect the law and law enforcement officers," end quote. And now the FBI is leading this investigation into the fatal shooting of Renee Good. Heather.
Christina Burgess, thank you. Today in New York, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem spoke about ongoing immigration operations. She also made claims about the state of Minnesota.
Minnesota is a train wreck. It is corrupt, and it was under the leadership of Governor Walz and this mayor that they allowed it to happen, and they let criminals and illegals and people abuse programs and steal the money, and now they're allowing violence to go forward on the streets as well.
Governor of Minnesota now questioning if there would be a fair investigation after President Trump and Kristi Noem weighed in on the case before the investigation was complete.
I think it's clear to everyone as they saw this that it feels now that Minnesota has been taken out of the investigation. It feels very, very difficult that we will get a fair outcome. And I say that only because people in positions of power have already passed judgment, from the president to the vice president to Kristi Noem, have stood and told you things that are verifiably false.
For the latest on the deadly ICE shooting, you can open up this story in the First Coast News app or firstcoastnews.com.